As you guys can tell by the title of the video, we will be giving our predictions for the Pittsburgh Steelers 53-man roster. But before we get into that, just want to address the elephant in the room, and that is the news that broke earlier today. That the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers did indeed sign veteran edge rusher Melvin Ingram to a 1-year, $4 million deal. I just got to say, it's a great signing. It's a great deal. You buff up the edge depth behind Watt and Highsmith. It's what you needed to do, considering our edge depth before we signed Ingram was horrible.
It was actually it was not convincing at all.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
And now you bring in Ingram, a veteran pass rusher, who once started opposite of Joey Bosa. So this is a perfect signing for the pass rush. Great signing for the defense overall. It's going to make the pass rush even scarier. It's going to make rotations a lot less worrisome.
Really. Worrisome. It makes it more exciting with Ingram now a part of the team and helping an already great pass rush. You just made it even more dominant, in my honest opinion. You made it more scary.
If he can stay healthy, of course.
If he can stay healthy.
That is the only concern. But
yeah,
this is a great signing. Great veteran presence behind Watt and Highsmith. Exactly what we needed. Exactly what we all waited for. And it paid off for a hell of a deal. $4 million. That's it. Great deal. Kevin Colbert just continues to, flat out just make great business moves. Seriously.
He's the king of doing it.
Yeah, he is. But now that that's out the way, man, Melvin Ingram, welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can't wait to see you get to work in training camp, which the guys can officially report come Thursday, which is crazy and exciting because football's pretty much back. Steelers football is here. Very shortly we'll be able to watch the preseason again. Like, this offseason flew by. So now I think it's time for the SteelTwins to give you guys their 53-man roster prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's get into it.
We're going to start from top to bottom. As usual, we're going to start with quarterback. And obviously the first two are, just guaranteed, confirmed. Ben Roethlisberger and Mason Rudolph, number 1 and number 2s. The number 3 is going to be the talk of the town for the quarterback position for training camp, especially when it revolves around a young and somewhat promising talent in Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
Can this guy make the roster? That's his main goal right now. There should be no talks of him being the future or the heir to Ben. He has to make the roster first.
He's got to prove himself.
He does. And you know what? I am seriously rooting for Haskins. I think a lot of us are, because not only would we like to see him truly shine and show that first-round potential, but it would make our lives after Ben so much easier.
It would, no doubt.
So we're all rooting for Haskins, but does he make the 53-man roster? And our prediction, initially, no. Josh Dobbs makes it.
So Josh Dobbs is the number 3 quarterback on the team.
Now, originally we were discussing and thinking and almost decided on putting both of them in the 53-man roster.
Yeah, having 4 quarterbacks on the team, and which is something that I can absolutely see the Steelers potentially doing. And I would not be opposed to that at all.
It'd keep Haskins and Dobbs on the team and just give Haskins the opportunity to redshirt. It could happen. It very well could happen. I'd like for it to happen.
It's possible. It's just kind of hard to see it, considering I can't even remember the last time we even had 4 quarterbacks on the active roster before.
Right.
And plus, Dobbs, I feel like he's more of an asset than Haskins is because he's familiar with the team, familiar with the coaches. He's more of a versatile weapon, and he even has a hand on the sidelines when it comes to play calling a bit. Ben's even made it a thing. He's giving credit to Dobbs about it.
Yeah. He reminds me he reminds me a lot of Byron Leftwich, who is currently the OC for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and former quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He reminds me a lot of Byron Leftwich. He has that mindset. He has the brains.
He's a very smart and intelligent guy, and with his feet, he's also a very versatile weapon, in which you did see when we played the Browns game, played against the Browns before the wild card game. He was used in that type of way.
Yes, he was.
Which is something I would like to see more of, especially in Matt Canada's system.
And you can expect for it to happen. It was very refreshing. It was new. It was like a breath of fresh air. It was actually very fun, and it helped us drive down the field when Mason got that start in Week 17.
Yeah.
So we could see something very similar this year. If Dobbs makes the team, that's our prediction. Still rooting for Haskins. He could make the practice squad. That's his decision. And if it comes down to that, I'm very well convinced he will indeed sign with Pittsburgh. He's glad to be here. He loves Mike Tomlin, and there's no better chance for a team to give him a second chance than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Of course.
So,
no doubt.
Similar to like the Paxton Lynch route, only with a lot more upside.
Definitely a lot more upside.
But Ben, Mason, and Dobbs are the 3 quarterbacks.
Now, the running back position. Obviously, Najee Harris finally got a lead back, a guy that can truly run the ball.
Thank God.
Yes, thank God. It's been far too long, man. Anyway, second is Anthony McFarland. And third was a toss-up between Benny Snell and Kalen Ballage, but we decided to go with Benny Snell here.
Just due to the fact that Tomlin loves him. He loves his Benny Snell football. And Benny did show some promise in what was an atrocious rushing game last year. So I think he'll remain with the team as a rotational power back for Najee. But, again, Tomlin just loves his Benny Snell football. I think that's really going to save him here.
Yeah, he's very vocal about Benny Snell.
Right.
When he's doing drills and stuff like that in practice, you can hear Tomlin say and scream Benny Snell football. He loves Benny Snell.
Yeah. And, of course, fullback Derek Watt makes the team.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for Derek Watt this year. I'm very excited to see us actually use him. And we will because we're already seeing some play action in minicamp. Training camp hasn't even started, but we've seen some play action in minicamp. We've seen some eye for him. Derek Watt has a brief history with Matt Canada, as Canada was the OC, I believe, for Derek Watt's freshman year in Wisconsin. So they have that familiarity there. They have that small, brief connection, and that's reunited here in Pittsburgh. That's refreshing. That's great. So I truly expect to see Derek Watt utilized properly this year.
No doubt.
Much more often than him actually earn his pay. Wide receiver, no different from last year. Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, and Ray McLeod.
5 wide receivers, no different from last year.
No different, and I love that squad. If they can fix up some of the small errors and continue to grow as they're all still young, they're all still learning, this is a great receiving core.
No doubt.
Tight end. As you guys know, the top 2 is Eric Ebron and Pat Frymuth. But that's it.
That's it. We do not add a third tight end. Quite honestly, when it comes to me and Danny, we don't see Zach Gentry or even Kevin Rader as a true number 3 tight end. We see him more of, a practice squad type of player. And quite frankly, when it comes to the tight end position, all you really need is Eric Ebron and Pat Frymuth. And I know you have something to say about the potential use of Derek Watt as a tight end. Of course.
I mean, Derek Watt has experience playing tight end from Wisconsin. We've seen that in Matt Canada's system. Again, they have that connection when he was the OC for Derek Watt's freshman year. So we're going to see a lot of similarity between Frymuth and Watt in the way they're used in pre-snap motion and eye form and in a blocking standpoint. But Watt, I think, can definitely be motioned out as a number 3 tight end in specific formations. And the way Canada just works the creativity and creates mismatches. Watt's just another weapon for Canada. So I think that's really going to be able to limit us to have only 2 primary tight ends. And Rader or Gentry, I think they have a shot for sure. That will be the number 3 battle. Whoever wins it could be the number 3 tight end. I'd give the edge to Rader just due to the special teams aspect. But for our prediction, it's only Ebron and Frymuth with the possibility of Watt being utilized as a number 3 tight end in specific pre-snap motion formations. I think that's a genius idea for Matt Canada.
I think it's something that I think we should, at least try and do. And utilize this guy considering how he was last year.
And it saves a roster spot for another serious position that they are going to want to stack for special teams wise and just for emergency due to last year.
Yeah, which we will get into later. But now the offensive line. Obviously, the starting offensive line is Chuck Okorafor, Kevin Dotson, Kendrick Green, Trey Turner, and Zach Banner. That's the starting offensive line. Now, when it comes to depth, is B.J. Finney, Dan Moore, and Joe Haig. So that is the offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers right here.
8 offensive linemen. Obviously, you got the starting 5, and you have the very versatile backups in Finney, Moore, and Haig. Moore will primarily be a developmental guy, play special teams, get his feet wet there, and field goals and stuff like that. Finney will be the backup swing guard.
In center.
Where he can play anywhere in the interior offensive lineman. Haig is the backup swing tackle, but he also has experience anywhere on the offensive line, so you have that versatility to keep only 8 guys. 3 specifically are depth guys, but the versatility gives the flexibility to, save some roster spots and still utilize guys if need be.
No doubt.
Now on to the defense. The D-line is stacked. Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Tyson Alu, Chris Wormley, Carlos Davis, Isaiah Buggs, and the milkman himself, Isaiah Loudermilk. Very stacked.
It's a great defensive line group right there.
Yeah, it is. Now, it's very similar to last year, and when guys had to step in, it wasn't really the greatest at times, but I think these guys are going to grow. I think Carlos Davis is going to grow. Buggs is still growing, of course. Wormley, he has a full year under the system to learn. He'll be the backup. I think he'll be the primary backup D-tackle behind Alu, but he can still play D-end if need be. And, of course, Loudermilk is the same way, while Davis and Buggs are just more so interior guys.
Yeah, so stacked defensive line, man.
Linebacker, Devin Bush, who, by the way, his Twitter has been pretty, it's been entertaining, it's been fun, but it's also been concerning. Side note there. Devin Bush, Vince Williams, Robert Spillane, Buddy Johnson, Marcus Allen, and Miles Killebrew.
That is 6 inside linebackers on the team right there.
And I think it's necessary to stack inside linebacker because of what we saw last year.
It wasn't great. It was bad.
No, it was rough when Bush went down. The guys stepped in. They did pretty solid. Williams and Spillane, they did solid. Marcus Allen, when he had to start for a little bit, did solid. But there was no athleticism.
There was no speed. There was no playmaking ability.
Now, when you look at the depth, there's still kind of no athleticism, except maybe Buddy Johnson, but he's primarily going to get his feet wet in special teams. Williams and Spillane will be obviously the primary rotational guys, with possibly seeing Marcus Allen as a sub-package dime linebacker.
Yeah.
And Miles Killebrew is pretty much a primary special teams guy.
And same with Buddy Johnson. But I do think Buddy Johnson is a very intriguing player. I think the guy has a lot of talent to be something special with this team.
Yeah, but
I really do.
He'll get his feet wet in special teams, of course.
Right.
Edge, T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, the newly signed Melvin Ingram, Cassius Marsh, and Quincy Roche. 5 edge guys. Stack the edge depth. You need to, especially with Ingram. Even though he's a great signing, he's the perfect veteran piece behind Watt and Highsmith. The injuries are still a little concerning. Marsh is specifically going to be the special teams guy now, while also being kind of like the backup rotational guy behind Ingram, if need be. And Roche will get special teams abilities, of course, as well. But I think he's going to be groomed to take over the eventual rotational piece, primary rotational piece down the road.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's a great edge group right there, especially with the addition of Ingram, man.
Oh, it went from to pretty good.
Very good. Very good. Now on to the cornerback group. We got Joe Hayden, Cameron Sutton, James Pierre, Shakur Brown, and Justin Lane.
5 corners.
5 corners, 5 talented corners. Joe Hayden, for his age, still a capable shutdown guy. Cameron Sutton, he's just waiting to break out. I think the guy has a lot of potential. Same with James Pierre. He's been getting a lot of hype when it came to training camp, or OTAs, I should say. In training camp, I'm really excited to see what he can do.
Oh, training camp, he's going to be one of the guys to keep an eye for because he made the roster last year as an undrafted free agent with no preseason. And then eventually, as the season went on, he took reps over third-round pick, Justin Lane. And now he's going to be the primary starting outside guy opposite of Joe Hayden for when we do sub-packages, when we move Sutton to the slot.
Mm-hmm. And even Tyrell Austin, our defensive backs coach, he's even giving him some praise.
Yeah. Shakur Brown will be he has the ability to start day one as the nickel guy. In fact, that was our prediction after the draft, after we signed him. They gave him a big undrafted free agent offer for a reason. They are high on the guy. It was a damn good undrafted pickup for sure in Shakur Brown, and I think he makes the roster, has a chance to be the starting slot corner day one, and Justin Lane will be backup, outside, depth, and play special teams.
Yeah.
Safety. You got the GOAT Minkah Fitzpatrick, and you got Terrell Edmonds. Now behind them isn't very convincing at all. You got Antoine Brooks, who could be a dime backer guy, but he could very well see time in the slot as well. He's another guy that has a shot to start in the slot. Same thing with Arthur Mallett. Or is it Millette? Not sure, but Arthur Millette, I'm going to say. He's a corner safety hybrid, but he's another guy that has a chance to start in the slot day one. That's going to be one of those training camp battles to watch out for.
It is, indeed.
And even Trey Norwood. But the thing is, with Norwood and Millette and even Brooks, they can all play corner. So that kind of makes up for having only 5 legit corners on the roster because of the versatility we have at safety. But when you look at the depth, they're versatile. They can be used, which is good. But there's no true backup safety. Knock on wood, any of these guys go down, Minka or Edmonds.
Yeah, you can pretty much kiss that safety group goodbye,
dude,
man.
Who's gonna step in?
It's not going to be convincing. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
That's why I'm kind of hoping the Steelers sign at least one more player before training camp happens or even during training camp happens, especially when it comes to the safety group. And obviously, the one name that comes out that I'm sure the majority of Steelers Nation is waiting for is obviously Malik Hooker.
Yes. We need to sign this guy.
I would love Malik Hooker to be with this team. We already got Trey Turner to replace DeCastro for this year. We got Ingram to help the edge depth. Now we got to get Hooker to help the safety depth.
Seriously. And again, that David DeCastro release is starting to look like a blessing in disguise.
And if we get Hooker, that pretty much seals it.
That almost solidifies the defense completely.
Yeah.
Because we have true backup safety depth.
Yeah, we got capable depth guys that can step in if need be.
Yes. And, of course, special teams to finish it off is Chris Boswell, Presley Harvin III, thick boy, of course, and Cameron Kennedy.
So that is special teams.
Yes, and that is our 53-man roster prediction, man. Give us your guys' 53-man roster prediction down in the comments below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. As training camp, the team can report to training camp very shortly, very soon. It's an exciting thing to think about. That is awesome.
It is.
Which means Steelers football is officially back. And training camp is going to be very fun to watch, see who makes a case for the 53-man roster, and, of course, training camp battles. And you guys can tune in to next week where we will discuss possible training camp battles for this Steelers training camp coming up. That video will be out next week.
No doubt. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait.
Training camp is here, man.
I can't wait, brother.
That's awesome. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below, man. See you guys next week for the training camp battles.
Don't forget to get your merch, SteelyInjuries.com. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later. Peace!